Adventurous kids explore with education and learning what a wildlife is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovering Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
Today we're going to
tell you about drones.
An unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, or uncrewed aerial vehicle, commonly known as a drone, is an aircraft without a human pilot on board and a type of unmanned vehicle. UAVs are a component of an unmanned aircraft system, UAS, which include a UAV, a ground-based controller, and a system of communications between the two. The flights of UAVs may operate with various degrees of autonomy, either under remote control by a human operator or autonomously by onboard computers.
The earliest record use of an unmanned aerial vehicle for warfighting occurred on July 1849, serving as a balloon carrier, the precursor to the aircraft carrier, and the first offensive use of air power in naval aviation. Austrian forces besieging Venice attempting to launched some 200 incendiary balloons at the besieging city. The balloons were launched mainly from land. However, some were also launched from the Austrian ship SMS Volcano. At least one bomb fell in the city. However, due to the wind changing after the launch, most of the balloons missed their target and some drifted back over the Austrian lines, and the launching ship Volcano UAV innovations started in the early 1900s and originally focused on providing practice targets for training military personnel. UAV development continued during World War I, when the Dayton Wright Airplane Company invented a pilotless aerial torpedo that would explode at a present time. The first country to build drones was Israel. Israel aerospace industry is heading the charge in terms of export numbers. Dang, boy!
Drones have also been used by many retailers to deliver their products. Drones are widely used in covering all kinds of news in international tournaments. Drones have also captured creative minds and have found users in all kinds of creative fields, from photography to music and even stage setup. Even the real estate market has started using drone tours to their benefit. Drones are heavily used in the movie industry to capture beautiful cinematic shots. Drones may have an onboard computer to take care of adjustments to wind and changes in air pressure. Sometimes they are programmed to a particular target. Important decisions are usually supervised by people on the ground. In remote areas such as Africa, drones are used for the shipment of life-saving medical equipment and medication, where human transport would be too time-consuming.
Drones are going to revolutionize the farming world, allowing farmers to view all their field whilst drinking a cup of tea. The drone gives them a view of their field, including damaged crops and those ready to harvest. Drones are becoming more and more popular for weddings, giving the couple a 360-degree view of their big day. There is actually a drone racing league. The DRL uses the venues such as sports stadiums and warehouses to eliminate a track and have the players maneuver their crafts around whilst racing one another. In one episode of The Big Bang Theory, Howard questions his engineering ability and almost causes a drone to go on a killing spree after breaking and falling into a repair drone the guys were playing with. It is, according to the drone school, illegal to fly a drone that's capable of traveling up to a mile or more any further than you can see it with the naked eye above 400 feet. Wow!
On January 26, 2015, a drone crashed onto the White House lawn and a pilot faced charges which were later dropped due to it being an accident. When it comes to constitutional rights, using drone footage is not a violation. Police have the right to use footage from a crime scene if it was done by a drone. The only time they can't use it is when it is a restricted area. Another misconception about drones is that they can only fly for a short period of time. This is not true for some models. While there are lightweight drones that can only stay in the air for a few minutes, most military or high-end drones can hover for an hour or two.
New regulations oblige people to register drones which weighs more than 55 pounds. People who purchase these drones need to register them to FAA. They will pay an extra fee for the registration. You may want to think twice before you purchase a pass. A law passed on January 3rd, 2018. A recreational drone user must register their drone with the FAA. Mark the outside of the drone with a registration number and carry proof of registration when flying. Furthermore, the pilot must fly for only recreational purposes. Florida Criminal Code, Section 934.50 forbids the use of drones for surveillance that violates another person's reasonable expectation of privacy. This law includes law enforcement. However, police can use drones with a valid search warrant. If there is a terrorist threat or swift action is needed to prevent loss of life or to find a missing person, per SB 92, that same law also allows someone harmed by the inappropriate use of a drone to pursue civil action. HB 1027 forbids local regulation of drones, but does allow for local legislators to craft some drone laws related to nuisance, harassment, reckless endangerment, property damage, or other illegal acts. It also forbids the use of drones over or near critical infrastructure. In most situations, and bans the possession or use of a weaponized drone. Hawaii Act 208 created a drone test site advisory board along with chief operating officer to oversee the site.
A quadcopter, also called a quad rotor helicopter or quad rotor, is a multi-rotor helicopter that is lifted and propelled by 4 rotors. Quadcopters are classified as rotorcraft as opposed to fixed-wing aircraft because their lift is generated by a set of rotors vertically oriented propellers, a four-rotor helicopter designed by Louis Breguet. This was the first rotary wing aircraft to lift itself off the ground, although only in tethered flight. At an altitude of a few feet in 1908, it was reported as having flown several times, although details are sparse. Quadcopters generally use two pairs of identical fixed-pitch propellers, two clockwise CW and two counterclockwise CCW. These use independent variation of the speed of each rotor to achieve control. By changing the speed of each rotor, it is possible to specifically generate a desired total thrust to locate for the center of thrust both laterally and longitudinally to create a desired total torque or turning force. Quadcopters have also been used in various art projects, including but not limited to drone photography. At least one drone has demonstrated the feasibility of painting graffiti on a wall with spray paint. It may be used in performance art with new degrees of positional control that allows for new uses of puppet characters, lights, and cameras. They have also been used in light shows, including most prominently the February 2017 Super Bowl halftime show, in which Lady Gaga, in a pre-recorded segment, accompanied a swarm 300 LED-equipped Intel shooting star drones forming an American flag in the sky. Quadcopters are being used for a wide variety of humanitarian applications, from disaster relief to animal conservation. During Hurricane Harvey, many drone pilots with quadcopters at their disposal descended on the city of Houston, Texas to provide support to first responders.
To get your quadcopter in the air, the only control you need is the throttle. Push the throttle left stick up very slowly to get the propellers going and stop. Repeat this multiple times and until you're comfortable with the throttle sensitivity. Slowly push the throttle further than before until the copter lifts off the ground. Then pull the throttle back down to 0 and let the quadcopter land. To hover, you will use the throttle to get airborne. You will then use small adjustments of the right stick to keep the quadcopter hovering in place. You may also need to adjust the left stick yaw slightly to keep it from turning. Use the throttle to get the copter about 1.5 feet off the ground. Make any adjustments with the right stick and the left if necessary. Keep the copter hovering in position. When you're ready to land, cut back the throttle slowly. When the quadcopter is 1 inch or 2 off the ground, go ahead and cut the throttle completely and let the UAV drop to the ground. Repeat this until you get comfortable hovering off the ground and land gently. To cut a quadcopter left, right, forwards, and backwards, you will need to hold the throttle at a steady rate to keep it airborne. You will then use the right stick to maneuver the quadcopter in the direction you want it to go. First, bring the copter to a hover. Push the right stick forward. Fly it a couple feet forward. Pull the right stick back. Bring it back to its original position. Now move it further backwards a couple of feet and return it to its original position. Push the right stick to left. Move your copter a couple feet to the left. Move it back to its original position. Fly it a couple feet to the left. Move it back to its original position, then fly it a couple feet to the right. If it starts to rotate, adjust the left stick to the left or right to keep the copter facing the same direction. Amazing!
Now watch a drone being flown at Snyder Park. Yeah!
So this is the drone I'll be flying today here at Snyder Park. This is the remote control. These are the directions on how to operate it. Not too hard. Wow. So this Buccaneer still dropping. That's how you fly a drone. This is the model. You press this to turn for the fly, then this again for it to drop. Like that, I guess. Try it again, folks. I don't want to put it too high, but I'll put it a little high. See, I'm using the control. The control is high. I get higher to your level. Ooh. Okay, job before goes in the works. And there you have her, folks. That's how you fly the drone.
Thank you for watching
This episode of Adventurous Kids. And
What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous kids!
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous kids!
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous kids!